the breaking point. I first met Gavin Matthews when I began working part-time at Crescent Bay Realty. After our daughter Olivia started high school, the quiet days began to feel too long. I needed something beyond errands and daily routines. Gavin and his wife, Lana, lived only 2 houses away in our upscale cul-de-sac. We were friendly neighbors, casual barbecues, small talk during walks, and cheerful gatherings on holidays. One evening, over a few glasses of wine, I mentioned I was thinking of returning to work. Gavin smiled and said, "Why don't you stop by the office next week? We could really use someone like you." And that's how I ended up joining Crescent Bay, mostly handling administrative duties, client scheduling, paperwork, and office coordination, while Gavin spent his days in the field, charming potential buyers and closing deals with wealthy clients. At first, his compliments seemed innocent, even flattering. "That dress should be illegal," he'd tease with a grin, or, "You're far too sharp to be stuck behind a desk." I laughed them off. After all, I was married, not foolish. But slowly, I began to anticipate them. His words made me feel visible, desirable, feelings I hadn't felt in years. I never planned to have an affair. Yet it happened. It began with lingering glances and brief touches that said more than words ever could. Then, one moment of weakness turned into a pattern I couldn't stop. Gavin made me feel alive again, reckless, desired, free. Being with him wasn't just thrilling, it was wild, intoxicating, almost addictive. For the first time, I forgot everything, my home, my vows, my husband. Daniel, my husband, was often away on business, flying across the country for investor meetings. Whenever he left, Gavin would arrive, sometimes within minutes of Daniel's suitcase rolling out the door. It became our secret rhythm. I told myself no one was getting hurt, that everyone got what they needed. What harm could there be if no one knew? Until that morning. We were lying in bed, sunlight crawling across the sheets like a silent confession. I was slipping on my robe, chatting with Gavin about Olivia's college plans and our summer trip, while he lounged naked, smirking like a teenager sneaking home past curfew. I had just turned on the shower when Gavin burst into the bathroom, face pale, eyes wild. "He's here," he whispered. "Daniel's downstairs. And he has a gun." My stomach dropped. "What are you talking about? He's supposed to be in D.C. "He's not," Gavin hissed. "He's sitting in the kitchen, tapping the barrel on the table. I don't think he's seen me yet." My breath froze. My husband, the man who'd never raised his voice in anger, was sitting downstairs with a firearm. We'd installed bars and alarms after a neighbor's break-in. Daniel had insisted on buying that gun, though it mostly gathered dust in the safe. With trembling fingers, I dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency?" "My husband's in the house with a gun," I whispered. "I'm upstairs."
"He hasn't seen me."
"I'm afraid for my life." "Are you alone?"
"No."
"A friend is here. We're hiding. Please hurry." After giving our names, Mara and Daniel Whitaker, the dispatcher said, "Units are on the way. Stay on the line." I peeked out the window just in time to see 2 patrol cars slide quietly down the street. Officers stepped out in bulletproof vests, weapons ready. One moved toward the sliding glass door. Another crouched behind the ash tree, whispering into his radio. "He's still seated," one officer said. "Weapon on the table. No movement." "Hold position," came the reply. "Do not engage unless necessary." My phone buzzed again. Captain Mandrel. "Mara, does your husband have a history of mental illness?" "No," I stammered. "He's always been calm, logical. If anything, he'd hurt himself before anyone else." "Understood. But if he doesn't surrender the weapon, we'll have to intervene." "Please," I begged. "Don't hurt him." A megaphone echoed outside. "Daniel Whitaker, drop your weapon. Come out with your hands up." Silence. Then a gunshot. Glass shattered. I screamed. "We have contact." Weapon dropped. "He's down," shouted an officer. I collapsed, sobbing, my body trembling uncontrollably. Gavin crawled out from the closet, white as paper. Minutes later, officers stormed the room, shouting commands. "Hands up." On the ground. Then a voice. "He's alive. but unresponsive. Possible catatonia. I watched through tears as they carried Daniel out on a stretcher, blood seeping from his arm, his face pale and blank. He didn't even look at me. At the hospital, Dr. Schaefer finally emerged after hours. "Mrs. Whitaker," he said softly, "your husband is stable, but he's suffered a severe psychological shock, what we call a trauma-induced brain injury. He's not responding to voices or faces. Only certain lights and sounds trigger reactions." "Can I see him?" I asked. "You can try, but be warned, seeing you might worsen his condition." I entered the room anyway. Daniel sat motionless, eyes empty, tubes snaking from his arm. "Daniel," I whispered, "I love you." His eyes flicked open, and he screamed. A raw, primal, inhuman sound. Nurses rushed in. Dr. Schaefer pulled me away. "This reaction," he said gently, "is because of you. His mind can't process what happened." I couldn't tell Olivia the truth. I told her father had suffered a seizure, that he was recovering. She wanted to come home, but I begged her to finish her midterms. Days turned into weeks. I called every morning, no progress. They let me play voice recordings, but each time Daniel heard my voice, he'd either scream or go completely blank. He no longer recognized me, not as his wife, not even as a person. My sister Rhonda eventually found out. She confronted me, furious. We stopped speaking. 10 months passed. Then Dr. Schaefer called. "He's waking up. You can visit, but he no longer responds to your voice." I rushed to the facility. "Daniel," I whispered, tears in my eyes. "Thank God you're okay." He blinked, studying me. "Who are you?" "I'm Mara," I said. "Your wife." He tilted his head slightly. "If you were my wife, I'd feel it. But you're just nothing." My knees went weak. "Daniel, we have a daughter." "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I don't remember loving you." A nurse led me out. "Give it time," she said. "Sometimes memory returns. Sometimes it doesn't." I visited daily, talked about our life, our memories, our home. He listened politely, as if I were just another nurse. Then one day, Olivia came. She took his hand and cried. And when he smiled, truly smiled, I knew he remembered her, if not me. I had destroyed everything, my family, my marriage, my future. I couldn't undo it. All I could do was live with the wreckage I'd created. Because I deserved it.